guys, it is about that time. It's been about 3 months since I've last filmed a video, but my empties have added up and piled up in my empties tote, so I figured it was time for me to go ahead and share with you guys some of the things I've used up over the last season or so, my thoughts, and whether I would repurchase them or not. So I'm going to go ahead and start with makeup products first. First thing I have is a powder. This is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Ultra Definition Powder Foundation. This one used to be one of my absolute favorites. I used to have quite a few of these. I think I've probably gone through 5 of them. I don't think they make this one anymore. I got a couple on clearance and I think they like reformulated it or something. It's one that I probably wouldn't repurchase anymore anyway. I've had some alternatives that I've been using. I've been using the Maybelline Fit Me. There's a Makeup Forever one that I like quite a bit. So as good as this used to be for me, it's not one that I feel like I need anymore. I've gone through quite a few concealers actually. I have been mostly not using foundation and just using concealer and a powder foundation for the last 1.5 years or so. So I have gone through more concealers because of that. First up, I have a Kat Von D one that I got from Influencer a while back, probably a couple years ago. It was time for me to finish it off. This is in L11 Neutral. I know that they have changed owners and everything has changed about them anyway, so I don't know if this is still the same that it was. I did really like this concealer. I liked the doe foot applicator. I thought that was really helpful for on the go or reapplication, but it's not one that I've ever purchased or feel like I probably would go out and purchase. I also have a Master Conceal by Face Studio from Maybelline. This one was in 20 Light. This one, I don't like the squeeze tube packaging. I feel like this is not the best way to use a concealer necessarily. I ended up using it up eventually. I mixed it in with other colors so that it would blend in with my skin. I feel like this one was good coverage, but it was a little too light for my skin most of the time. I probably wouldn't go out and purchase this one again, but it was decent enough for the price. Another one that I used up mostly by mixing it in with other products. This one is the It Cosmetic Bye Bye Acne, I think. I don't know. All of the packaging has pretty much come off of it. This one is in Transforming Porcelain Beige. This one I used to like a lot, and then I found that I wasn't reaching for this one very often because it's so thick that I don't love the consistency of it. So I ended up using this one, mixing it in with a more liquidy concealer, and so that way the color and the texture was better for me, and I liked using it up that way. I don't think I would run out and purchase this anymore. It's not the style that I prefer anymore, so probably not again in the future. My last concealer that I've used up is the one that I use for under eyes. I've repurchased this one a bunch. This is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser. This one is the Brightener color. I love this one. This is my go-to just under the eyes. I tend to just use this and then put powder on top of it. It brightens. It doesn't tend to be too intensely covering, so like it blends out my dark circles a little bit, but it isn't necessarily leaving a ton of product there. And it lasts me a really, really long time. I don't love the applicator on this one, so it's like the little ball tip applicator. I feel like there's a lot of product that gets wasted in this type of packaging, but I do really like it. I will go out and purchase another one at some point. I have a light version of the same type of concealer that I want to finish off, and then I'll probably go back and purchase the brightener again. I have a primer that I used up. This is the Milani Chill Out Soothing Primer. So it says that it's wild oak extract and ceramides. I don't know that this one really did anything for me. I bought it on a whim and used it up, but I don't feel like it did that much for me. I feel like I've been way greasier recently for whatever reason, oilier, and I don't know that this did anything to help out with that, so I used it up. It was fine, but I won't repurchase it. And then this is the eye primer that I tend to use anymore. This is the Milani Eyeshadow Primer. I like it. I feel like it does a nice job of keeping my makeup on. I don't feel like my eyeshadow fades throughout the day. It's fairly inexpensive, so I already repurchased another one of these. I also used up a makeup setting spray. This is the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This I really, really like. I like the way that it sprays. I never feel like the spray on this one is too intense. I feel like it does a nice job of evenly misting on your face, and so you don't get those weird spots and dots sometimes you'll get with like the traditional sprays. So I have had another one of these. I think I actually bought these as a 2-pack maybe. I don't remember, but I really like this one. I have gone back and repurchased it a couple of times. I think this is maybe the 2nd or 3rd one I've used up. I also used up this EOS lip balm. This one is one that I would just keep in my vanity. I would use it before I put on makeup, and then by the time that I was ready to put on some lip product at the end of most of my makeup, it had pretty much gone away. So this isn't anything that's super moisturizing. I don't love them anymore. I don't purchase them anymore, but it worked as like a minimal moisturizer before I put on other lip products so that my lips weren't completely dry. And lastly, for makeup products, I used up 2 eyeshadows. So this one is the Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia. I used up the color Vermeer, which is just a really pretty champagne color. I actually have a single version of that eyeshadow as well because I love that color. I think it looks gorgeous on the lids, and I want to make like a smaller version of this palette with just the 4 colors I use. At some point I need to get rid of this palette. It's getting too old and the shadows don't hold up as well, but I'm glad that I used that color up because it was gorgeous and I used it all over the lid. And then I also used up one shadow that's in my MAC palette. I used up Naked Lunch, which used to be here, but now that pan is empty and I need to get rid of it. I will probably replace that one at some point. I actually really liked the way that that shadow applied. It was also a champagne color. I feel like my go-to eyeshadows tend to be those light champagne shades that go all over the lid. So I have a few of those in other palettes. I want to work through some of those that I have first, but at some point I will repurchase it to go back in my MAC palette because this one has been my go-to palette for the last year and a half or so, and it's been my almost everyday look. And so at some point I would like that back in there so that I have that shade as a usable option in that palette. Next up, I have body care products. The first thing I have is a Dove body wash. This one was in Pampering, Shea Butter, and Warm Vanilla. I really like the Dove body washes. They are the ones that I tend to go to the most often. I thought that this pump format would be really nice, but I found that this ended up being like, there's probably about a third or a fourth of it down at the bottom that the pump couldn't get to very easily, and that was super annoying. But I really like the smell and the feel of this one overall. I would probably repurchase this in just the regular format. Again, not necessarily the pump because it was nice at first, but it ended up being just kind of more of an inconvenience as it got closer to the bottom of the body wash. I also used up a Dove exfoliating body polish. I really like the Dove body products. I think that they're nice. This one I liked as well. I thought it smelled pretty good. It was pretty exfoliating. It took me a little while to use up just because I don't tend to use body polish or body scrubs that often, but I did like this when I used it. I would probably repurchase it at some point when I work through some of the other ones that I just have sitting in my back stock. I have this Beekman 1802 whipped body cream. I've gone through a few of these before. I usually get them from my mom. There's a Vanilla Absolute scent that I really like. This one was unfragranced, but I like the texture of it. I feel like it moisturizes without feeling overly moisturizing or leaving you feeling like sticky afterwards. So I would continue to purchase some of these, especially in the Vanilla Absolute scent. I like them a lot, and I think that they make my skin feel really nice and soft. I have 2 of these, and these are something I almost always have just sitting around my house. These are the Neutrogena hand creams. They are like the Norwegian formula. They are the ones that are more ointment-like. They're a thicker consistency. They say that you shouldn't have to use a ton of them. I do feel like my hands get really dry. I'm a librarian and I spend a lot of time working with books and shelving books, and I tend to get a lot of like the hangnails around the edge of my fingers, so this really helps with that a lot. I especially like to have these in the winter, but I use them all year round. I always have them sitting around, and I cut them open to get out all of it because I think it's fantastic. I used up some Schick Hydro Silk 5 razor blades. These are the ones that I tend to go to most of the time. These are pretty good. I don't have any razor blades that I necessarily like am over the moon about that I love a ton, but these are the ones that I tend to go to. They are expensive, so I try to make sure I get them on sale or that there's like a deal when I go to get them. They work. And then the last body product that I have is this Moroccan Oil Body Night Body Serum. This I got in like a set. There's something else that I'll show in the hair care. From Sephora. I think it was maybe the birthday gift. I don't remember for sure, but it was nice. It smelled really good. I don't know that it really did that much for my skin besides, you know, it's a moisturizer, but it's not something I would go out of my way to purchase a full size of. Next up, I've got hair care products. First thing I have is a shampoo. This is the Garnier Whole Blend Soothing Shampoo. It smelled really good. It wasn't really anything amazing. I probably wouldn't repurchase this. There's other shampoos that I found that I've liked better, so probably not. I do have these 2. These are the Fave 4 Repair It Right Conditioner and Hydro Help Shampoo. I got these from Sally's Beauty. I really liked these. They went kind of fast for me, but I feel like my hair felt really nice and moisturized and soft after I used them, so I would probably go back and purchase these again. I have a lot of shampoo and conditioner in my shower right now that I'm trying to work through and finish up, so once some of those are done, then I will probably go back and repurchase these. I have a Function of Beauty Wavy Hair Shampoo. This is the one that they sell at Target that you can get the little pods that mix into them. I think I mentioned a conditioner in my last Empties video. I did repurchase this and the conditioner because I had extra pods, and I don't love it. It's fine. I don't know that it makes a huge difference in my hair. I've heard a lot of people say that they feel like their hair falls out more or gets tangled more when they use this. I don't know that I've necessarily noticed that, but it's not something that I feel like I need. There's other shampoos and conditioners that I've liked better, so I probably won't purchase these again once I've used up the ones that are currently in my shower. I have 2 hair dyes. So the hair dye that I used to use all the time, they stopped selling at CVS. I think recently I discovered that they have it at Walgreens and Walmart, potentially. I need to go look and see. But because of that, I ended up buying a couple of different hair colors than I'd used in a while. So right now, this one is the color that I have in my hair. This one is the L'Oreal Superior Preference 4SM Dark Soft Mahogany Brown, which is fine. It's darker than I usually go, so I don't know that I love it. It doesn't have as much of a reddish tint to it, but it's fine. It works, you know, it works enough to make my hair all one color at least. And then this one I did last time, and I actually liked this one a lot better. This one is 4M Dark Mahogany Brown. It's the same Superior Preference from L'Oreal. I liked this one better. I liked the red tint a little bit better. It was still like a darkish brown, but it had red to it. So if I were choosing between the two of these, I would probably go back to this mahogany brown one. But I do need to go to CVS and see if they have the Schwarzkopf one. That is the one that I used to use all the time that I absolutely loved. Hopefully that's actually at a store somewhere and isn't discontinued. Something that I've been hanging on to forever that I finally finished off, this is the Carol's Daughter Chocolat Smoothing Blow Dry Cream. This is something that my mom used to get on like HSN, I think, quite a while ago, and I absolutely loved it. The shampoo and conditioner that they used to have that went with this smelled amazing and always made my hair feel great. It's supposed to be a thermal protectant and you smooth it in. I really, really liked this. I wish that this was something that they still made because I love the way that it made my hair feel and it smelled so good, but I think this line is discontinued from Carol's Daughter, which makes me sad, which is why it took me forever to use it up, but this was great. I loved it. I have 2 more Moroccan oil products that kind of went with that body one that I mentioned before that came in the same little set. So the first one is the Moroccan oil treatment. This I really, really liked. I feel like it smelled really good and made my hair feel nice. I liked that, as well as the Moroccan oil hydrating styling cream. I thought both of those smelled really nice. They made my hair feel really nice. I might actually, despite this being a pricier brand, go purchase the hydrating styling cream at some point when I work through some of my other hair care products, because I do feel like it made my hair feel really nice and soft and manageable. And then the final hair care products that I have are just these scrunchy poly bands. I actually have like the replacement here. So these are the ones that I tend to purchase when I do things in my hair, like if I do pigtails, if I do Dutch braids, things like that. I will tend to use these little bands. I reuse them a few times, but they tend to get stretched out or lost, or my cats take off with them. And so eventually I run out of all 300 of them. So I replaced them. They're not my favorites, the ones that I replaced it with. I feel like these are stretchier and they tend to break a little bit easier than the ones that I had before did, but I like them. I usually find them at Target, I think. Alright, next up I've got facial care products. I have a lot here, more than I thought I did. So first up, this is something I've had for a very, very long time. This is the Up and Up Oil-Free Eye Makeup Remover. It's one of the bi-level ones, so there's more oily product at the top and then you shake it together. I've repurchased this. I like it. It works really well. It's not my go-to method to take off my makeup. I tend to use a cleansing balm instead, but this I will use if I am traveling or in a pinch, and it works pretty well for that. A brand that I've started to try out more that I really like is the Versed brand from Target. So I tried out the Keep the Peace Acne Calming Cream Cleanser. This has 1.5% salicylic acid in it. This face wash was fine. It wasn't anything that I thought was super great. I have other ones that I like okay, so I probably won't repurchase this one, but I like the brand as a whole. Something that I do really like from them that I repurchase quite often is the Versed Just Breathe Clarifying Serum. I have 2 of those here in my empties. I like this quite a bit. It's usually my first step in my skincare after I have cleansed my face, and I feel like it just does a nice job of helping kind of clarify the skin a little bit better. I tend to be very, very acne prone, especially now with wearing masks all day, every day. I'm back at school and my acne has returned full force, or I guess it's maskne more at this point, but this I feel like helps a little bit with that. And then the other product that I have from Versed is the Zero G Smoothing Eye Cream. This one I really, really like. I feel like it's got some brightening component to it, so that it does a nice job. I use this in the morning most of the time. I have another one from them that I use at night as well. But I have liked most of the products I've tried from them so far. I used up a full bottle of the Revolution Night Restore oil. So this is supposed to have squalene and evening primrose oil. I hadn't really ever used an oil on my face prior to getting this one, but I really, really like this. I use it at night as like my last step. I feel like it's really, really hydrating. My face tends to feel really nice and smooth and soft in the morning after I use this, so I did purchase another one of these that I'm currently using. I also used up the Ordinary Salicylic Acid 2% solution. This was fine. I felt like this made my skin really sticky, so I have other versions of salicylic acid that I use now. I have a moisturizer that I use, as well as a Derma E serum that I like better than this one. This one just left me feeling a little bit sticky, so I didn't tend to reach for it very often. Something that I miss from my skincare routine, this is the Sunday Riley Good Genes All-in-One Lactic Acid Treatment. This is really, really expensive, but I do feel like it does amazing things for my skin and makes it look really clear and radiant. I find that my skin has been looking a little bit more dull lately. So at some point soon, I will probably go back and repurchase this. I tend to use it, and then when I use it up, I wait a couple months and then I go back and purchase another one when there's a good sale. But I really, really like this. I do feel like it makes a huge difference in my skin. All right, I have got a few things from the Body Shop here. The first thing I have is the Body Shop Tea Tree Squeaky Clean Scrub. This is a face scrub. That was fine. I tend to like their tea tree line, so I'll go back and forth and purchase their stuff every so often. I feel like this one went really, really fast for some reason, but it was nice. Something that is also usually in my skincare routine, I don't have it right now because I'm trying out a different moisturizer, but the Tea Tree Mattifying Lotion from the Body Shop is something that I almost always have in my rotation. It's something that I feel like helps with clarifying my skin a little bit better and fighting off some acne, and it doesn't leave me too moisturized or overly greasy. So now that I think about that, not having this might be part of the reason that my skin has been a little bit more oily lately, but this one I like a lot and I tend to repurchase it often. I've gone through a ton of these. Another thing that I almost always have in my skincare routine is the Body Shop Chamomile Sumptuous Cleansing Butter. This is my first step makeup remover cleanser. I really, really like this. I usually try to get it when it's on sale, and I almost always have one of these. I'm actually trying out a different cleansing balm right now that I got from Ulta that I like pretty well, but this one has been in my rotation. I've gone through tons and tons of these. The price is great. It doesn't leave you overly oily. It rinses off cleanly. It's excellent. I love this. I will definitely repurchase it at some point in the future. I used up a Proactive Cleanser and a Proactive Toner. These are things that I used a ton when I was in high school. I have used it off and on. I'm not as consistent with using it, and so these are the extra strength formula. They were the only thing that worked for me when I was in high school. I don't tend to use any of it anymore really often, so when I use it up, it is actually kind of a big deal. But these are fine. They're nothing amazing anymore. I should probably actually cancel my auto ship subscription that I've had for years and years because I don't tend to go for them anymore. I have other things that I use that are probably a little gentler and kinder to my skin. I used up a little Origins Clear Improvement Charcoal Mask. This was a sample I'd gotten with something. It's fine. It's a charcoal mask. I don't feel like it's anything that's amazing. It does tend to pull out some of the extra oils on my nose, but other than that, there's other masks I have that work fine too for that. And then I used up this CeraVe Foaming Facial Cleanser. This was a sample that I had. I don't love this type of foaming facial cleanser usually, so I actually used this up cleaning makeup brushes, I think. Not something that I would ever need to go out and purchase the full size of. Alright, so as I was saying, I have been dealing with a lot of maskne and acne, and it is very clear in the amount of acne spot dots that I've used. I have 7 of these in here that I've used up. These come with 30 patches. They come in 3 different sizes. I get them at CVS and I always have them on hand because they are super helpful for calming down acne. It helps me avoid picking at my acne because I'm really bad about that sometimes. And it's super great. So I like that these come in 3 sizes. They're way cheaper than some of the other ones that you can find at like Target. I think they're like $8, and I've looked for other brands before that were twice as much with half as much product. So these are great. I always keep them around. I also have 2 of these Peach Slices Deep Blemish Micro Darts. These are ones that have like extra little darts that are supposed to help when you have the acne that's deeper under the skin, bring it to the surface a little bit quicker. So these are helpful for that. I have some that tend to pop up when I have my period or when my hormones are, you know, off kilter, and these help with that a lot. I have 3 different packs of makeup wipes, which are not something that I tend to use unless I'm given them. So my mom tends to give me these Beekman 1802 facial cleansing wipes. These are the Vanilla Absolute flavor. No, these are the Vanilla Absolute scent. I really, really like these. I have a pack that my mom gave me right now that I'm working on. These are really nice. I use them in the morning before I go to the gym, usually to take off my nighttime skincare. These are the Neutrogena Makeup Removing Cleansing Towelettes. I got these from my mother-in-law a couple of Christmases ago, honestly, and they were pretty much dried out already when I got them, so I would have to wet them to do anything with them anyway, so they kind of defeated the purpose of a typical makeup wipe. And then I also got these Fasciae Deep Sea Mineral Makeup Cleansing Wipes that I'm pretty sure came from like Big Lots or something like that. These were fine. They worked to take off residual makeup or to just kind of cleanse your face in the morning. It's not something that I would ever buy on my own, but they were fine. I used up the Biore Nose and Face Pore Clearing Pore Strips. I like these a lot for helping with blackheads that I tend to get on my nose fairly frequently, and sometimes when I get those, my makeup doesn't apply as smoothly, so I like these to help with that. I know they're not the best for you, but I continue to get them and do them like once every couple of weeks anyway. And then I also used up this Karuna Matte Mud Face Mask, and this was one that came in like an Ulta bag or something like that, I think. I actually really liked this one. I don't tend to do face masks like this very often. I tend to do the ones that are in a jar instead. But this one did, I feel like it did actually mattify. It's a lot cleaner than most mud masks as well. And so I might look into these every so often. It wasn't something that I tend to have in my house or need at my house, but I did actually end up liking it more than I expected to. All right, lastly, I've just got my random stuff. So this is something I've mentioned a handful of times before. This is the Protein Cookie Butter Powder. This isn't the only one of these I've gone through. I've gone through quite a few of these actually. This is the salted caramel flavor, and I absolutely love it. I have like 6 of these in my house right now. I tend to use this for extra protein, and I mix it in with different things. Most of the time I use this mixed into a plain Greek yogurt, so it gives it a little extra flavor and it makes it have a little bit more protein. I like it a lot. You can buy these online and they are fantastic. So I always have these around. So I recommend them because I think they're delicious. I've got 3 different wax items. So the first thing I have is the Better Homes and Gardens Tranquil Garden Spa Wax Melts. These I use in like the Scentsy type things, the wax melters. This one smells really, really nice. It's fresh and clean without being overpowering. I get this at Walmart and I tend to repurchase them. I think I have like 5 of these sitting around right now because I love it. I usually tend to change these out once a week or every couple of days or so because the scent fades away, but it smells really, really good. I also have 2 candles here. So I have the Woodwick Fireside, which is more of like a campfire type smell. I really like the Woodwick candles because they make the like crackling noise, so it sounds like a fire. These are kind of fun to have around. I didn't love the scent of this one, but I do like these. There's different Woodwick candles I like better than this one, but it was fine. And then I also used up this Bath & Body Works Marshmallow Fireside one. This is one of my favorite scents. So this one has that campfire-y smell like the Fireside one does, but it also has a hint of sweetness to it that I really, really like. So this tends to be one of the ones that I go out and I make sure that I have one of when I'm burning candles because it does smell really, really good. The last thing that I have is just a hand wash. This is the Raw Sugar Simply Hand Wash Cold Press. This is the raw coconut and mango scent. I really, really like the Raw Sugar hand washes. They tend to be the ones that we have in our house most often anymore. There's a bunch of different scents that I really like from them, but they feel like they last a lot longer than some of the Bath & Body Works hand soaps have. And they're nice. The only issue with some of them is that the nozzle tends to get a little bit jammed, and then I've had it happen multiple times where it sprays straight out at like my stomach instead of, you know, onto my hands, and then it ruins a shirt that I'm wearing to get ready for school the next day. This particular type it doesn't, but there's another type of the Raw Sugar one that I have had lots of bad experiences with that with. So this one I would recommend. The other one that will show up in my empties eventually, probably not so much. Alright, so that was a lot of things, but that is my empties for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any thoughts on any of these products, let me know that in the comments down below. Let me know what you have finished up recently, whether you loved it, you would repurchase it, or not. I hope to see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.